A warm and heartfelt welcome back to all our viewers around the globe. I'm here right now in the Orangerie. That's the place at the Schönbrunn Palace where Mozart was performing. So you just have to imagine Mozart and Salieri walking around this amazing location and competing against each other. Later on tonight, we will witness a performance of the Schönbrunn Palace Orchestra. But before we get there, this afternoon I had the pleasure to meet up with Klaus Panholzer. And he told me a little bit about Schönbrunn and everything around it. So please enjoy the interview with Klaus Panholzer. Here we are, standing in the Crown Prince's Garden in Schönbrunn. And with me is Klaus Panholzer, and he's the CEO of the Schönbrunn Group. Klaus, thank you so much for having us. And I had a great first question, and it was, what makes Schönbrunn so special? But when I look around here, it's very obvious what makes Schönbrunn so special. So my question is a little bit more specific. Why do you think, besides all these obvious beauty, why should people come here and spend their time in Schönbrunn?
Of course, when you come here in the morning already, Vienna is very famous for beautiful coffee houses. You can come to one of our coffee houses and have a nice cake. And either if you're here with your children, you can go further either in the palace himself, or you can go to the Children's Museum or to our neighbor, the oldest zoo of Vienna and the oldest zoo of the world. And in lunchtime you can come and have a typical traditional Austrian food, schnitzel or Tafelspitz. And if you stay here the whole day, you can come to our gardens, or in the evening you even come to our Chambrun concerts. So the whole day together makes it very, very special.
To me that sounds perfect. Cake, food, entertainment, a zoo. I think we have to stop the interview. We're taking off right now and enjoying the rest of the day here. But unfortunately, we have to go on. And I know that millions of people come here every year. What do you think is the most special moment for the people from abroad when they come here? What astounds them the most?
I would say first of all is we are a World Heritage Site, UNESCO. That makes it really very special. And of course, not just that we are the #1 visited site of Austria from tourists, but also we are, I think, one of the biggest in whole Europe. It makes it also very special in Chambrun here. It was the summer residence of the Habsburgs, and it's just 15 minutes away from the city of Vienna. In other places, like you say in Versailles, you mostly drive an hour out there. It makes it really, really compact here. And of course, when you look at our beautiful palace, it speaks for themselves. It's the most beautiful place in Austria.
Maybe there are a few mountains who could maybe challenge this site. I'm not sure.
Of course, I'm sure, but I think I'm very proud of my job, what I'm doing, and I think it's me as a CEO of this beautiful palace. It makes me really proud that we have such a beautiful heritage site that we can show to our tourists.
That's very true. What are your plans for the next year? Is there anything special planned?
Yes, we have a very, very big Empress Elizabeth year in our Schönbrunn Palace. Here we have the very beautiful musical of Empress Elizabeth. Then in just an hour away in Schloss we have a very special exhibition of Empress Elizabeth. And in the city it's our big Sisi Museum. It's just 15 minutes from here. This is, I think, it's a very big year, and it doesn't really matter where you go in one of our places, you will have an unforgettable experience.
Klaus, now final question. Where is your favorite place here?
I really, most of the time, I enjoy it the most when my wife and my son are coming to visit me in the office. I'm going to the ear garden here. There's a small, very nice children's playground. I love to watch my son, and then I'm just coming down a little bit from the daily stress from the office. I really enjoy that place. This is my favorite place of the huge, huge palace.
Thank you so much for taking the time, for showing us around, for telling us all these details and stories about Schönbrunn. And I think now we go and you show me your favorite place.
Thank you very much. You're very welcome. Bye.
We're back here now at the Orangerie. And while you are watching the interview, everyone here is getting excited and getting ready for the performance later on. And in the meantime, I've had the honor to have a small interview with Peter Hossig. And he told me more about the Schönbrunn Palace Orchestra. I have the honor to be standing here with Peter Hossig. He's the producer of the Schönbrunn Palace Orchestra, and he's going to tell us a little bit about this special and unique orchestra. Peter, thank you very much for squeezing in the time. I know you're very busy getting ready for the show later on, but how did this whole thing started?
Well, first of all, thank you for having me for this show. And well, the whole thing started when I was a musician, like 30 years ago. I was a clarinet player in the orchestra, and I never. There were some occasions where I didn't like when people tell you what to do in an orchestra. So I decided to be the person to tell everyone else what to do, and that's why I founded this orchestra in 1997. So we got the chance to rent this beautiful location, which you will see later on, and produce concerts. And then, of course, the question was, what can we do out of the orchestra? Where does the audience come from? So to put together some friends is always easy, and to rent a location is also easy. You just have to pay. But where do people come from? And this was the gap where in Vienna, in the summertime especially, that we decided to perform for the tourism industry, that come to Vienna with a certain view, with a certain image, with a certain inspiration, and that's how everything started in 1997.
So that means what musicians or what kind of music do you really play, or what do you focus on mainly?
Well, because this location here is a unique location. It's an original location where Wolfgang Amadeus Mozart performed in 1786. There was the big competition between Mozart and Salieri, which was his big component at these times. And the actual competition that you might know from the movie or from the theater piece took place here on the February day, 5th of February, 1786. And it's just a breathtaking moment when you walk into this hall and you realize that so many years ago, this fantastic composer performed here. So, of course, we perform music by Mozart. And, of course, when you are in Vienna, you have to perform the music by Johann Strauss and his brothers and his father and all the great composers around this era as well. So we specialize on the Viennese classical music, Viennese classic, Wiener classic, and the music of Johann Strauss.
When Mozart was actually happening, his music was kind of avant-garde. It was new and fresh. But now, a few hundred years later, the classical music is not what we call fresh anymore. Wrong. That was my question. What do you think?
No, absolutely not. First of all, who decides or who defines what is fresh? It's the person that is reproducing what somebody else wrote hundreds of years ago. It's the interpretation that can be fresh. And it's the interpretation and it's the enthusiasm that you put into this kind of music.
That actually answers somehow my next question. It would have been, what's the USP of your orchestra? But if I got you right, it's about transforming and making it, keeping it new and fresh.
It's about the authentic way to perform this music. The authentic way is, of course, how something should sound. In Vienna, we have different instruments like anywhere in the world. We have the Viennese oboe, we have a Viennese horn, for example, and those instruments, they are only played in Vienna. So we try to keep this tradition that we learn in Vienna together with the great teachers and other great musicians in this city.
Yeah, one final question. So what do people need to do if they want to come here and see your concert? Where can they buy tickets?
Well, they can buy tickets on our website. They can buy tickets in any hotel in Vienna, at the ticket shops, at their travel agencies. We are working with all the big travel agencies, tour operators, OTAs worldwide. So it's on TripAdvisor. That's what people know everywhere. In China, we sell through all the travel agents as well. In Japan, we have a lot of friends there. Since many years, we have a lot of people that come back. Some people come 4 or 5 times in the last 20 years. So, and same in America or all over Europe. So it's everywhere. You can see the Schönbrunn Palace concerts are available.
So it's really easy to get a ticket, so you all should do it and enjoy it. Peter, thank you very much. It's been a great pleasure asking you questions.
Same here. Thank you very much for having us. Thank you.
Sure. Now I'm excited for the concert.
Yeah, you should be.
Finally, it's happening. I'm very excited about it. What's the first piece that we're going to hear?
Well, the first piece we are going to hear is the Aria of Susana from Mozart's opera, The Marriage of Figaro, Le Nozze di Figaro. And the aria is called Giunse al fin, and it's it's a love song, basically. And she's singing it not for the count that you're supposed to, because the scene is like that, and her husband-to-be, Figaro, is watching her behind a tree, and she can see him out of her eyes, but he doesn't know that she can see him. And he thinks that she's singing it for his opponent, which is the count. And he's not there yet. So the whole thing starts getting a little bit confused, but in the end, everything is solved happily. And this is the love song called also the Aria of the Roses in English.
So let's go and get into it.
Sure.
Thank you very much, everyone.
Giunse ai fini il momento che godrò senza affanno il braccio all'idol mio. Uscite dal mio petto a turbar non venite.
After Mozart, where is the next stop of our amazing musical journey going to be?
The next piece, it's a real Viennese song. It's called Wien wird schön erst bei Nacht, from Robert Stolz. And he was a composer, wrote many pieces for the Viennese soul and for the Viennese happiness. And the piece is about Vienna at night. So when you walk through the Kärntnerstraße, through the St. Stephen's Square at night, the whole atmosphere changes from a busy day and lots of people in the streets to a very calm and quiet kind of old Viennese atmosphere. And this comes out in this music, for my taste, the best.
Let's go to the Kärntnerstraße.
Bei Nacht, dann zeigt ganz seine Pracht, da uns dort ein Paar durch das Schweigen kühnen ferne Augen. Sag, was Schöneres denn gibt, als meine Wien, wenn's verliebt. Wär's geschehen, muss geschehen. Wien wird bei Nacht ihr schön. Wenn gekritzelt wird an unserer Wiener Stadt, dass noch immer fahren so wenig Wagen, dass die Uhren nie ganz richtig schlagen und die vielen Alten klagen, sag ich immer, oh, da habt ihr wirklich recht, doch deshalb lasst Wien euch nicht verdrießen. Was wollt ihr euch rennt bei Nacht, ist es versenkt bei Nacht. Da kann man Wien so recht genießen. Wien wird schön erst bei Nacht, dann zeigt's ganz seine Pracht, da uns dort ein Paar durch das Schweigen kühnen ferne Augen. Sag, was Schöneres denn gibt, als mein Wien, wenn's verliebt. Wer's gesehen, der muss geschehen. Wien wir bei Nacht ihr schön.
I could be sitting here for the rest of the evening and listening to this amazing music, but already we're going to hear the third and last song for tonight. What is it going to be?
Well, it's the unofficial hymn of Austria. It's the Blue Danube Waltz, which is called in German An der schönen blauen Donau, and by Johann Strauss, of course, which was premiered in 1867. And there's an interesting story behind that. When the Allied forces in 1955 moved out of Vienna, 1955, Austria had no hymn. So they were performing the Blue Danube Waltz as an official anthem of this country. And this is always moving when you hear about this story, because it's an Austrian identity. And that's why it's so special and played all over the world and loved all over the world as well.
Then let's enjoy the Austrian identity. Thank you very much.
Welcome.
Prost. That was a spectacular concert. And in my profession, once in a while, we stumble upon a job that really touches us. And today I've had the honor and pleasure to explore my own hometown again. And I truly loved it. And I hope so did you. And that you got an idea what makes Vienna special. But before we come to an end of the ATB 2020, Florian Größwan is going to lead us to the future and tell us what to expect in the coming years. Prost und einen schönen Dank. Alles Liebe aus Wien. Servus.